Hello everybody, Miss Melissa here from the East Greenwich Free Library, ready to teach you how to make your very own leprechaun trap. Now before we make our trap, we need to think and get in the minds of a leprechaun. To do this, there are wonderful books, for example, 3 Ways to Trap a Leprechaun, which is written by Tara Lazar, and How to Catch a Leprechaun, which is written by Adam Wallace. Both of these books are in the Rhode Island library system, so you can certainly request them to pick them up if you're looking for a fun leprechaun story. And in some books like those, we learn that leprechauns love rainbows and gold, things that sparkle, and also the color green and sometimes clovers. And our craft today incorporates almost all of those elements. Now, I want to start by saying that the leprechaun trap that we're going to make with the kits that I provided are certainly not the only way to make a leprechaun trap. And if you don't like the way that I designed my leprechaun trap, you can get creative and design your own. Or you can add your own creative elements to the trap that we're going to make today. So now, let's take a second to look at the materials that were provided in the kits that you picked up at the library. If you picked up a kit at the library, the contents will look something like this. You'll find a large rectangle of green construction paper, a circle of green cardstock, a small rectangle with yellow construction paper, a long skinny rectangle with black construction paper, 3 popsicle sticks, and 4 small sticks, a cardboard tube, a picture of a pot of gold with a rainbow, and some gold sequins. If you did not pick up a kit at the library, you can certainly gather items similar to the ones found here to create your own, and you can also improvise with just some things that you have around the house. A couple items that are not included in your kits, but that you might need to put together this leprechaun trap are some scissors and some tape, and some glue if you have that at home too. It can be very helpful. Now, to get started, we're going to take the cardboard tube and the large green rectangle. And this large green rectangle is going to be wrapped around the tube just like this. It might be just a little bit taller than the tube, so you have a little bit of an overlap, and that's okay. And once you get that tube wrapped, you're going to take a piece of tape to just stick it together. And you can put a piece in the back, and I usually like to put a piece on the top that kind of overhangs, and a piece on the bottom that overhangs as well. And once you tape them together, you end up with a nice green tube. And why do you think we picked the color green? That's right, because leprechauns love the color green. And I've actually designed this trap to look like a little leprechaun hat. So we've got our tube, and you'll see if you take that green circle, that's going to be the bottom. So if you look at it, it looks kind of like a hat. We don't necessarily need to attach these. If you want, you can put a couple pieces of tape or some glue to hold them together, or you can just, when you set the trap down, you can set the tube on top. Totally up to you. I'm going to keep it simple and just set my tube on top right now. Before you attach, if you're going to attach the bottom, first you need to add a little buckle on our hats. So you're going to get your black strip of paper and your little yellow square. The black strip of paper is going to be wrapped just around the bottom of your tube, just like this. And then you can see I'm just holding it together with my finger. I'm going to take a little piece of tape and tape it on there. So there's a little buckle of the little belt on the bottom of my hat. The next one's a little trickier. So now with your yellow square, you're going to make something like a little buckle to go on your belt. To make the buckle, I gave you squares that were bigger than you needed so that you could kind of have some extra wiggle room. You can decide how big you want your buckle to be, kind of see what size you want it. And you can trim this square down. So I'm going to trim a little bit right here. And trim the top. So that's a little bit better size buckle. But to make it look like a buckle, you're going to want to see some of the black through too. Because a normal buckle would have the black kind of looping through. The belt would be looping through the buckle. Now, if you want, you can just take a black crayon and color a little square there to give the illusion of a buckle. Or if you did want to cut a little square out, if you fold it in half, like so, you can then just cut a little square. So 2 little lines right there. And then just cut across. If you fold that down right, just made the little lips. So you got that little fold. Just cut across. And then unfold it. And now you'll have more of a buckle that you can attach to the front. And this is going to be the front of your trap. Now, if you have glue, you can glue this on. I've got tape in front of me, so I'm going to do a little bit of taping. And so that you can't see the tape, I'm going to do the little tape roll trick. And just roll a couple rows of tape on the back. Of my buckle like so. And stick it on where I want it to go on the front of my trap. And now I just set it. Yeah, I've got my little leprechaun hat. All right, so we've got the base of our trap. Now we need to come up with some bait. So our goal is to get our leprechaun to fall into the trap. So we need to get the leprechaun to want to get into the top, right? And to do that, we're going to use a pot of gold with a rainbow. I cut everybody's out in a little square. You can take one of your popsicle sticks, and you can do this one of 2 ways. You can just tape the popsicle stick right like that, or you can trim around the outside so it's just, you can just see the little pot of gold, like so. And you can tape that onto the, so after you cut it, you just put a little piece of tape to the back of the stick to hold your pot of gold in place. Once you have your pot of gold onto your stick, whether you've cut it out or not, that's fine. You're gonna get one more piece of tape. Let me get a piece of tape. And you're going to put this piece on the front of the stick, like that. And take your tube and tape the stick. You're going to tape that stick right into the tube, just like that. So now when you're standing your trap up, you've got the pot of gold right on top to lure the leprechaun in. But leprechauns are kind of tiny, and this is a really tall trap. So next we have to make a ladder for the leprechaun. And to make the ladder, we are going to take the last 2 popsicle sticks we have, and those 4 teeny sticks. Now, to make the ladder, you can certainly glue the sticks in place like this, and you can make several steps with the sticks. So you can glue them if you have some glue at home, or I've also made one just by using those little rolls of tape again. So just like I did with the buckle, I rolled the tape to hold the sticks in place. And that was just so I could make a quick little prototype. The glue will take a little longer to dry, so if you are going to do that, make sure you give it some time to dry before you try to stand it up, or it could fall apart. So now we've got a little ladder that I can just got my trap. I can stand the ladder up against the trap when I'm ready to lure my leprechauns in. This helps if you're setting it down on a table, and I will certainly show you that when I'm done explaining. So we are almost done with our traps here. The last thing we need is just a little bit more gold. So I provided you with some gold sequins so we can pretend they're making little gold coins. And you can scatter some around the bottom. You can glue them in place if you want. You can glue some up and down the trap if you want. You can glue them onto the ladder. You can glue them anywhere you want to decorate your trap. That's just a very basic trap. You can also, and I'll show a completed picture of mine in a second, you can also add extra elements to yours if you want to make a little sign for the leprechaun, or maybe you want to add extra rainbows, or something I didn't include in this kit is clovers. You can maybe draw some 4-leaf clovers. Do whatever you want. This is all construction paper, so it's very easy to draw on if you wanted to add any elements. And that's it. That's how you make a leprechaun craft. A leprechaun trap. Let's take one more look at that final product. Here is that trap completed once more. As you can see, we've got our bait set with the ladder up. There's still plenty of room for customization if you wanted to add details to your trap. Thank you for watching with me. I hope you had fun, and good luck catching a leprechaun.